Dear entrepreneurs, it's Roberto, and today we're going to talk about creative entrepreneurship and how it's a little different than freelancing. Some of you are going to notice that I'm in the blue Create Awesome t-shirt again, and it's because lately I've been recording a lot of Tech Tuesday videos. There's a lot of products that I want to review. There's also a bunch of stuff going on with Apple that I want to talk about. So in line with the branding, I am wearing the blue Create Awesome shirts to make that content. And it's because product sponsorship, affiliate marketing, these are part of my business model, and they're a part of how I differentiate being a creative entrepreneur. More on that in just a second. So one of the things you have to understand about being a freelancer is when you're a freelancer, you're completely dependent on clients. You're always hunting. It's very much feast or famine. And I did that for years, and I wasn't happy and satisfied with what that provided, even when things were really good. So developing an overall business model that wasn't entirely client-centric was part of the key. Now you can still be an entrepreneur or a creative entrepreneur with a client services business. It's a matter of scale, and it's a matter of diversification, i.e. One client at a time versus many versus recurring, etc., etc. I mean, you can just look up entrepreneurship and whatever dictionary definition you want is fine. But the reality is, for me, it comes down to the fact that I'm my own boss. I'm not beholden to anybody. I am the best and worst boss I've ever had. I told you guys about that in another video. I do have structure. My structure is not punch in, punch out at these hours. My structure is the to-do list of things that have to be done and whether I've executed on them or not. My, accountability is my revenue. It's, do I make what I need to invest back into the business, to pay the bills, to have operating capital, to have travel expenses, etc. Am I doing those things? Do I have the money to pay taxes? Which, by the way, is still a rant coming about that. We've got, 4 or 5 episodes after this one left. I will get to taxes. Don't worry about it. But I mean, it's things like that. I am accountable to myself for everything. The buck stops with me. The other thing is I'm in a position where I'm able to subcontract or hire things out to people, and that makes a real difference. I'm also able to fire clients. Hiring and firing is part of the difference, I think, in running a business versus just being a freelancer. Speaking of which, I won't get super into it in this video because I have a dedicated video that, even though it'll be off schedule, I'm probably going to release it Thursday or Friday, where I'm going to talk about freelancing and Fiverr. And the reason is it came up in an episode of Ask Gary Vee recently, and I get it, and I still think that it was a good episode. I still think that Gary is more right than wrong about this. But I also know that many of you watching are creative entrepreneurs or freelancers or creative services people, and so I know how you feel about Fiverr. And at my core, yes, I feel many of those things too, but in terms of business and practicality, there's a right way and wrong way to do it. And like many platforms, including YouTube, the issue with Fiverr isn't Fiverr itself. It is all the things that led up to Fiverr being created in the first place, and then it is the way that people operate within the platform. And I will get into that just briefly, but I'll save most of it for the other video, so make sure you're staying tuned for that. Without even getting on my high horse or my pedestal as a designer and a creative and, it's tanking the market and pay people what they're worth and blah, blah, blah with all that, I'm gonna preface this as an entrepreneur and as a content creator and YouTuber. I am pissed about the fact that the platform is not ruthless enough with weeding people out who sell fake views, fake subscribers, fake Amazon reviews for products. I am very upset that the platform is not ruthless and more accountable with regard to those things as a creator, because that creates a situation where people are being dishonest blatantly and where there's a service that enables dishonesty, and that really grinds my gears. But no platform is perfect. YouTube only just recently addressed Content ID and fair use, which hurt friends of mine, which hurt YouTubers big and small, people that I enjoy the content from even, and it became a real problem. But they addressed it and they fixed it. It took a while, but they did it. They also are being more combative with industries like the music industry that are not handling those things appropriately. And the reason that's important for you guys as entrepreneurs is that you need to understand that building your business on any singular platform is very dangerous. Building your business and having 50% or more of your revenue tied to one client, and that revenue being what you need to operate and to live, cash is oxygen, is horrible too. Putting your eggs in one basket. And I think the narrative of niche, I think the narrative of focus is misquoted and misinterpreted and is leading people to a place where they're focusing way too much of their energy and relationship in one thing and putting all of their stuff in this one basket and putting it at risk. And if something happens, an algorithm changes, terms of services changes, they're screwed. And I think that that's a problem. I'm likely gonna do an episode on niches and how they should work. But I am gonna warn you in this episode that listening to 80-90% of people who tell you focus on one thing, niche down and go narrow, you're probably going to lose if you're not figuring out whether that is right for you and works for you. Because if it works for them, cool. If they have an example that was successful for them, cool. I will never tell you to completely emulate everything that I'm doing, because I keep telling you to run your own race and I don't think it'll work for you. I think you should reverse engineer what I'm doing. I think you should use my tactics. I think that you should learn from my strategies. And that's why I tell you guys that it's fine for me to give 99% of my best advice to you guys for free, because it is broad strokes and it is very general. If you want specificity, if you want something that is tailor-made for you, well, then you have to hire me for coaching or consulting. There's no way for me to speak to exactly your situation unless I just get lucky with it by doing a video where I'm trying to address the needs of thousands of people. Something that I think would help a lot of you who are creatives, if you're trying to become an entrepreneur, I would suggest that most of you do something that I'm in the process of doing. I talked about it in the last episode, and go to a product model as quickly as you possibly can. Make some kind of product that you can sell. Right now, for me, that is merchandise. So that means the Create Awesome t-shirts. So guys, do me a favor. Go to robertoblake.com/shirts. And if you are interested, buy one of the Create Awesome t-shirts or the Always Be Creating t-shirts, because, you know, I make terrible margins on it, but, you know, every little bit helps, and maybe it inspires and encourages you when you see it and when you're wearing it. And like I said, I'm probably gonna put together some kind of lookbook thing with people who shoot photos or videos of themselves wearing the shirts and make some kind of commercial, and so you'll get some limelight out of it. So if you want to do that, cool. If not, don't worry about it. But again, I would encourage you to make some kind of product, whether it's merchandise, whether it's an info product, whether it's a book, whether you want to sell templates online, which if you're a designer, you definitely should be doing. You know, I think that those will help scale your creative entrepreneurship and create a diverse revenue stream for you. I like the idea of having as many revenue streams as possible, and that's something that I'm very particular about. I mean, I'll just try and ramble some of them off, but like, remember that these are columns. They're not just revenue streams. These are tiers for me. So we have the paid writing that I do for publications. We've got my coaching and consulting. We've got my public speaking. I still do design and visual branding when clients can actually meet my price. What else do we have? We have the affiliate marketing relationships. We have the merchandise. We have ad revenue from the blogs. I'm looking at potentially developing some niche websites that'll do heavy in advertising and affiliate marketing and potentially sponsorship. So there's that. I leverage affiliate marketing in the email list and newsletter. What else have we got? There's obviously the ad revenue from YouTube. There is sponsorship with multiple sponsors, and now I have a few that are recurring that you guys will see on the channel. And it's not here yet, but again, there's info products that I'm developing. Now that I have the Panasonic Lumix G7 and it can shoot 4K video, I'm going to be licensing and selling 4K video stock footage. So I'm going to be using that model as well. Amazon just opened up their service for video creators to sell their stuff directly in there. So that means someone like me can get ad revenue from Amazon just like I would from YouTube, but I also can get sales off of 50% rev split on any digital download sales and also any rentals that happen. So what I'm probably going to do, because most of my content was made natively for YouTube, what I'm planning to do is to put another revenue model in place by filming some exclusive content for Amazon. And I still don't know what that might look like yet, but it'll probably be a few one-offs and a series. Some of it might be stuff that I still release on YouTube because they have a non-exclusivity agreement, which means I can post it wherever. But again, I have things like, oh, subscribe to the YouTube channel and blah, 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 in the existing videos, so I can't leverage most of the existing inventory. And it was made without the intention of Amazon, so I want to do that differently. I want to make native Amazon content. And so what that might look like for me is the things I've been teasing you guys about with motivational short films. I might make those, not make them YouTube centric, or make an intro and outro that's specific to each platform, post that in YouTube, make ad revenue and do whatever there, and then post that to Amazon, and people who want to own it on their device and have a digital download would have the option to do that. And I can make money from that, from Amazon Prime and from this direct video service. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. And so that's how I diversify revenue. Is I always look for all of these opportunities. I do multiple streams in these verticals, and that's how I roll. Like I said, there's a lot of other things that are coming down the pipeline for me. Obviously, products are going there, digital products, info products, that kind of thing. There will be a point where some of you had asked about, you've requested actually that I start a membership group because some of you can't afford one-on-one coaching. So you like the idea of a group coaching model. And if I do that, I'd do that for maybe like, $50 a month, $400 if you prepay for the year, private Facebook group where I'll be very active, maybe a twice a month or once a month group video private hangout or something like that, whether it's Google or Spreecast, exclusive content, training videos, template packages that are free, some access to some very exclusive download content, and some things that I've never shared on the channel. So that's the kind of thing, if I do a membership group before the end of the year, I'm thinking like $50 is probably good. Guys, in the comment section, let me know if you'd be very interested in that membership group, and remember to reach out to me via email if you still want the one-on-one coaching, because I will be doing that indefinitely. Caveat, I think at the end of the year, because of the Just Create Awesome book coming out, and because of my schedule with that, and if I do the book tour, the prices for the coaching might have to go up next year at the beginning of 2017. So I would get that now. Something I'm really interested in is also trading some of my expertise and time for equity in other companies, in an advisory role more than anything, not necessarily in a co-founder status, but as an advisor. And there are a couple of deals I can't talk about right now where I'm navigating that and working that out. So that could be really interesting, and that's another way that you can generate revenue as an entrepreneur, is if you have a stake in somebody else's business in the same way that an investor would, but instead of throwing money at it, it's that you throw your effort, your labor, your skills, your expertise, your knowledge at it. Then having 2% of somebody else's company is not a bad deal, especially if it takes off. And you do that enough times, you get 2% here, 5% here, you put in some work over 6 months, a year, but then you don't have to necessarily do anything after that, and you still have those stock options. Then wow, you really have something. You really have some great residual income there, and that's fantastic. So I would encourage you, if you have that opportunity and you know people in startup culture, to look into things like that. Something else that I'm looking at, aside from that, is I'm actually looking at ways that referral business and joint venture partnerships can work out for me. So that's something I'm looking into. I'm looking at developing some paid courses. I know that some of you are interested in that, and I think that that would scale very well for me. I think I've proven the results that I can generate for people. I think I've proven that I can educate people on a variety of topics. And so it would be very practical for me to build out some paid courses around that. The email courses that I already have that are free are doing very well for people. I'm getting great feedback from that. I'm seeing people sign up to that list. It's growing exponentially. So I think that a paid model of that offers even more value and a little bit of exclusivity would probably do very well. And I would encourage you that if you have a skill set and an expertise and you feel that you're very good at teaching, that you pursue some kind of e-course model or virtual training workshop. And I think that next year that those things are going to add a significant amount to my pipeline. I honestly feel that being a creative entrepreneur is almost unfair to everybody else in entrepreneurship land. And I don't say that to brag. I'm just saying that we get this huge advantage in being able to do things ourselves in a way that most entrepreneurs that are more idea-based or even very technical may not have the opportunity to do. I mean, think about it. The building of a business or a product or a brand requires design, and if you don't have that skill set, you have to pay for it. If you're me, it costs you $0. You have to build a website, cost me $0. Cost somebody else, a couple hundred to a couple thousand, depending on the situation. These are all things that matter. Video marketing, that's wildly expensive for production and editing, and then marketing strategy and implementation. That stuff cost me $0. So, for me as a creative entrepreneur, it's not just about how much money I'm making. It's about all the money I don't have to spend in expenses and cost because I can leverage my own time against that. And then the money I make buys me back more of my time. And so this is very much a loop for me, and it's fantastic and it works. And if you're a creative entrepreneur, if you have a skill like design or writing or photography or video or coding, there's a lot that you're not going to have to pay for in terms of a business expense. And I think that that's just amazing. I think it's a real advantage, and I think you should leverage it. I think you should ride that horse all the way to the finish line because I think it matters. So speaking of the finish line, we're almost at the end of the series. We're almost to episode 30. The series, Dear Entrepreneurs, won't be back until August for Vlog Every Day in August. So guys, I want to know what your favorite episode has been so far in the comment section. So that's our question of the day. I also want a second question of the day. What out of all the things that I'm getting ready to launch and do are you the most interested in? Are you interested in a paid group model, like a membership site where you can get group coaching? Do you want to work with me in terms of one-on-one coaching? Are you interested in buying books and video guides? Are you interested in buying a course? Let me know in the comment section. Also, remember, pretty soon I've got more speaking engagements coming up. So guys, check out my speaker reel, and also check out my speaker page, robertoblake.com/speaker. And, maybe I can meet up with you guys, or you can attend a conference or some event going on in the area that I might be at for any of these upcoming speaking gigs. But they're a lot of fun for me, and I love meeting you guys. It's fantastic. I've gotten to meet some great people from the community. I've gotten to meet some of the sponsors and some of the people that I write with. So that's always been cool, and I always have a good time with that. So that's something that I'm trying to grow more of over the next year. And I think that it's very beneficial to a lot of you who get to see me in person and get to ask questions. I also really get a lot out of it because it always makes me excited, and I always come up with new ideas after every one of these events. Anyway, that's it, you guys. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. I hope this helps you in your creative entrepreneurship journey. Really digging this series. I'm going to be sad to not be doing these after episode 30, but I will be doing vlogs on Sundays as usual. So, there'll be cool stuff there. And, you never know. This might become something else. We'll see. Anyway, that's it, you guys. Take care. And remember, create something awesome today.